All right, everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing. Today, we're going to be going over the weekly fishing report. So if you're new here, what that is every week I break down what I'm seeing on my lake, and you can kind of mimic it all around the country. So either case, big key thing is this past week, we had a lot of rains. We've only had a couple of days of rain this week, but as you can see, overcast skies. We've got a lot of overcasts and stuff like that going on. So what I expect these fish to do by the fall or this upcoming weekend, I expect most of these fish to start pushing up against the bank. So you're going to start seeing a lot of grass, or well, you should already be seeing a lot of grass on your bank and grass coming off of your bank. But we're getting in that 2-week period of the post spawn, which today, where I'm at today, these fish are definitely still post spawn, but it could change at any moment. So I kind of want you to be prepared for both, okay? But you know, if your fish are in that post spawn phase, that real heavy post spawn phase, then a lot of these fish are going to be pushed out, you know, towards the mouths of your creeks, towards the mouths of your pockets, and they're just going to be wandering around. You can catch them on baits like the drop shot, the jerk bait, stuff like that I've talked about this week and last week. But one of the biggest things is if these fish by this weekend push up to the bank, which I'm thinking they will, as heavy as the grass has come up. I'm seeing the carp spawn in the grass. I'm seeing the shad spawn in the grass. And when the shad spawn in the grass, the bass are definitely up there. So that doesn't mean, you know, when I see these bass move up and they're eating shad that are spawning in the grass, they're not going to move 6 miles down into a creek, okay? They're just going to push out on the edge of a ledge, okay? So like earlier today where I saw that shad spawn going on, I catch a few fish out of there. You know, after the shad spawn's ended, these fish are pushing back off of that deep ledge, and off of that deep ledge I was catching them on jerk baits and stuff like that, catching them while they were suspended. So, you know, you can still kind of do that. You just kind of got to play it by ear. So what I would suggest is, you know, first thing in the morning, be looking for that heavy shad spawn. Use stuff like your weightless flukes, swim jigs, swim baits, anything that mimics a shad. It doesn't really matter. As the day progresses, one of the biggest things, don't forget about this. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm bringing it up again. But either way, that custom spinnerbait that you can get on vantagetackle.com. But either way, make sure to use my code Colton25. You'll get 10% off, and it helps me out a lot. But either way, you know, as the day progresses, you're going to swap over to like your finesse baits. So, you know, that drop shot, depending on, you know, if the water is like today, if it's calm, then I'm definitely going to be throwing that drop shot. If it's not calm, then I'm going to be throwing that jerk bait. Now, we've kind of got a mix between clouds and sunshine today, mainly cloudy. But, you know, when it's cloudy like this, you can typically swap up to that jerk bait, and you don't necessarily have to stick to that drop shot. But the drop shot, you're going to get a lot of consistent bites when it's calm. So that's something that I like to stick to. So either way, guys, in conclusion, you should be seeing your fish up against the banks by this weekend, which would be tomorrow, Saturday. But, you know, you should be seeing your fish closer up against the banks in this grass and stuff, feeding on shad, feeding on crawfish, and you should start seeing your carp and stuff spawning. I've saw that a lot. Either case, you're still going to have fish that are still spawning, okay? So, you know, it's not like, I don't know where this come from in bass fishing, but it's not like, oh, I found a fish on bed, so every fish in the lake is spawning. No, you have early spawners. You have spawners that just spawn at, you know, that middle springtime where a lot of people start seeing them, and then you have late spawners. So you're still going to have spawning fish, so you can still look for those fish if you like bed fishing. A lot of these fish should be moved up shallow, and you should start catching them that way. If you're not, you're going to find them at the mouths of your creeks. You're going to find them at the mouths of your pockets and stuff out suspending, especially in the middle of the day, unless you get there early in the morning to see that shad spawn going on. But either way, guys, I really appreciate it. If the video helps you at all, make sure to like. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe. I got you covered when it comes to anything bass fishing. Comment down below if you have any questions or anything you want to add, or, you know, you just want to talk bass fishing. I love hearing from you guys. See you next time.